Hey, it is Nbtsky and you are on my daily reading channel. It is January 14th, 2025, and the future year is 2040, and it breaks down into 6, which is a Venus energy. So when we're dealing with the future year, you're using the Chinese zodiac or the Chinese calendar. It's metal monkey. In the Chinese zodiac, the element metal is associated with Venus anyway, so it's kind of lining up normal, right? In general astrology, we are dealing with Venus ruling over Taurus and Libra, which is at earth and air, right? So the monkey is intelligent, influential, ambitious, and is also considered a gifted achiever. Naturally, the monkey's environment is monkey's environment is usually in the natural realms, right? So in 2040, in this energy, the monkey in the element of metal would be forced to adapt, create, understand, and be flexible in a new situation, relationship, jobs, creativity, projects, family, dealing with friends, etc. Just remember how metals work. They can be melted down, they can be destroyed, they can be built back up, they can be softened, they can be a medium hard. It depends, right? So let me see what card comes down for the metal monkey year in Venus. Ooh. Oops. Alright, let's see what we get. The Divine Matrix, which is very interesting. And where's my paper at, y'all? With the birthdays on it, because we have to do our birthdays and stuff. Alright, so the Divine Matrix. And this comes down in a master number. I usually stay with the 11 and 22 and the 33, but this is 44. And you're in a Divine Matrix. So this is a good time for tapping in order to use all of these aspects, right? In order to be flexible, in order to create, in order to do new things in new environments or outside of your natural element, right? So people in 2040 may feel like they are being pulled or put in a situation where they're not in their natural element. Tap into your divine energy. Make it work. It's always possible. And if you cannot make it work, then be flexible enough to change it when needs be. So let's see what the sun is saying. The sun, is a Leo energy. Venus, this goes for Capricorns also, because Venus is in, some people have Venus that's dominant in a chart, right? So that's Capricorn. So let's look at the sun. We talk about Leo energy, 722 to 822. All right. The power of purpose. So know your purpose. Know why you're here. This also comes down in the 9. So this is talking about understanding your power, understanding your purpose, and so you will achieve. Think about these things in a clear, happy manner, in a high vibration, right? So that you can transition the power that you have and your gifts and your abilities and the things that you are trying to build on, so that you can then serve your purpose and your reality. So let's look at what's going on for the overall energy, which falls into Mercury, which talks about air and earth energy, of course, and it's Gemini and Virgo. That's May 21st to 6:20. And Virgo is 8:23 to 9:22. So let's look at that and see what comes down over there, and then we'll throw down some regular cards and be done with it. Great and full. All right, so this is all about balance, happiness, stability, union, feeling satisfied in your energy today. Whether that's communicating with each other, whether that's Capricorn communicating with people in the sign of Gemini, Virgo, or whether you have little Mercury dominant in your chart, you're going to feel, balanced, settled, happy, and able to work together with other individuals and communicate clearly with other individuals and build upon your finances, money, and stuff like that with other individuals. So now let's look at what's going on. A high frequency today is Jupiter. And let's see what Jupiter is talking about. Just so we can have our birth dates in order. Alright, Jupiter. Alright. So we got the 3 of Wands, right? So when we're talking about the 3 of Wands, you're talking about Aries energy, March 31st to April 10th. You're talking about planning, standing, looking forward to the future, being patient, getting into your thoughts. Let's see what else we're talking about here. And this is, and when you in that energy, you know, if you look at the traditional Three of Wands, you're dealing with a man holding. So he got a firm idea of what he has achieved some things and has plenty more to achieve, right? So you got this Eight of Swords. When you're dealing with the Eight of Swords, you are dealing with Gemini energy, and that would be May 21st to the 31st. Right now, for people that's in, you know, staying in a high vibration, you're dealing with Jupiter. You're creating, you're building, you're communicating. Jupiter is a communicator, right? Outside of that, don't feel so self-trapped. This is a good time to release yourself from everything that you feel is trapping you, because there's always an outlet. It just is a matter of how you're thinking, what are you contemplating on, what are you planning on, what you gonna do with yourself. Whoop, that one fell out, so oh, that's too many. All right, so that's what you want to think about. You're never trapped in. And you know, sometimes this could be a conversation of literal jail and stuff like that. It's always outlets, whether it's emotional, you know, tapping into your emotions, tapping into your mind, learning how to travel, you know, learning how to control your thoughts so that you can kind of guide your way out this situation, you know. But usually this is about self-entrapment and realizing that that's all it is. All right. And then we have the Scorpio energy here, right? And so when you're dealing with the card of death, that's October 23rd to November 22nd. Now, there's this energy here when you're dealing with the card of death. Now, some people look at it as, oh my God, we're going to spook this card out and make it seem that. No, this is the end of a particular situation and the start of a new one, whether that's spiritual, emotional. When you're dealing with the majors, you're dealing with the higher energies. You're dealing with, you know, energies that that flow a little bit different outside of the physical realm. All right. Now, also, when you think about this situation, I'm gonna throw another card down, because this is something that is a mindset, that self-entrapment that's created, that needs to end, that needs to stop. It needs to be the death of that type of thought in the highest frequency. So if you're in your high frequency, you feeling self-entrapped, you feeling like you don't know what to do, you feeling like, oh my God, I need to get my thoughts, so on and so forth. This is a nice energy to create another path, another way of thinking, feeling, and being, so that you can end all of that, period. Now, let's get into the middle frequency, which is in Venus, right? And when we're talking about Venus, you're talking about, again, Libras and Tauruses, right? So you got September 23rd to October 2nd. And then you have the Taurus energy, which is December 22nd to January 19th. So, Taurus, April 21st to April 30th, and May 11th to the 20th. Excuse me. Anyway, so let's look at this medium frequency, what's going on in Venus. You got this Queen of Cups. This is a double water energy, a very emotional energy. Could be very loving, very motherly-like. And, you know, depending on that, the energy, let's see what comes down with it. Because she's looking at the power and purpose, in the power and purpose direction. Let's see what's going on with her. And just for the record, the Queen of Cups is Cancer, June 21st to July 21st. So this could be a Capricorn dealing with an older female, or who has older qualities, that's, you know, emotional, loving. If you get her too overly disturbed, it can get disturbing. We got the Moon here. And we got this Ten of Pentacles. Now, let's be clear. You're dealing with the Moon energy. There's no time, and it's usually, usually kind of associated, you know, with the High Priestess, depending on how you're looking at it. But this is also, like Pisces, February 19th to March 20th energy. Sometimes people like to associate them together. It depends on what system. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Now, when you're dealing with the Moon, this is about taking risks. to a degree, but also about being emotionally stable, being able to make choices, being able to understand that the moonlight only gives you a glimpse. Sometimes there's a lot of things that people may not see or may not notice, especially if you're a Capricorn dealing with a female, right? Today, the frequency may be a little bit mixy. There's two sides of this. You can be this individual could be super emotional, and this could be a masculine energy that's moving around in the feminine energy also. You could be super emotional and therefore not pay attention to a lot of opportunities that's coming today. But it's really finding a balance between your emotions and your ability to create and build and have your opportunities. So stay in a medium frequency. If you are a female Capricorn, male Capricorn, whatever the case may be, and you feeling a little bit overly emotional today, then put a lot of thought into it. Don't let your thoughts, dreams, and stuff like that kind of entrap you and create fear, and end your abilities to create wealth, health, and stability today. You might come up with some pretty darn good ideas today, so tap into them. Alright, so, and also with the Ten of Coins, you're dealing with Virgo energy September 12th to the 22nd, for those who like to know. Alright, let's look at this, what the lower frequency of Pluto was discussing today, and then maybe I'll throw down a couple of cards over there. Alright, communication, the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords encompasses all of the air signs. So you got the Gemini, right? That's 5/21 to 6/21. You got the Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd. And then you have the Aquarius energy, January 20th, and it ends February 18th, and some systems is on the 19th, right? So this is the gift of communication, contracts, agreements, thoughts, being able to clearly vocalize and get things moving, right? And we're going to look at it all the way. And then we got you got the Ace of Coins, and the Ace of Coins encompasses all of the earth signs, right? So with that being said, you have Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So Capricorn is December 22nd to January 19th. Taurus, April 21st to May 20th. And Virgo, August 23rd until September 22nd. So now, not only do you have the gift of being able to communicate clearly, having good contracts and agreements, being able to speak to people that's productive in your reality, but these things should bring forth some type of fruit, right? Some type of stability, a gift of money, wealth, finances, being restabilized. So this is going on in the lower frequency, and so this is how we have to stay in a higher frequency to get the best aspects of it. When it's in a low frequency, I'm reading it the other way around so we can get a clear understanding of what frequency we should stay in. We got this Queen of Wands, and then I'm going to give it to you in a low frequency. The Queen of Wands represents the Aries energy, March 21st to April 20th, right? She's, in this particular setup, she's looking away from the money, and she's looking away from the Ace of Swords and looking towards this great and full energy. All right, so, and that's not even directly, right? So when you're dealing with the Queen of Wands, this is a water and fire sign. Too much emotion, right? And pay attention, because their eyes is kind of going in the same direction. Okay, so too much emotion will put the fire out for this particular individual, and too much fire will boil the water. So therefore, you kind of want to stay out of that realm. This Queen of Wands energy is probably comfortable financially and so on and so forth, and probably worries about things not being as stable as they usually would be. When you're dealing with this Ace of Coins, don't be deceived by people's physical possessions or physical being and end up in a trapped up situation. When you communicate and don't communicate so far into emotion, especially if somebody's coming towards you in the emotions, kind of give it some thought. Now we're looking at this transition and the endings. So this could be people that stop communicating with individuals, stop wanting to deal with people physically, or deal with money and stuff like that, or even ended creating and being, fully energetic and moving in motion. You want to stay out of that energy. You want to stay out of negative energy, negative thoughts, negative ways of communicating, and it happens to the best of us. Like, seriously. You also want to not, waste today. You don't want to waste money today. You don't want to waste time today. None of that. You just want to stay in your highest, best energy, balancing out your actions and your emotions, not getting trapped up in your thoughts. You don't want any of that today. So that's how you stay out the lower frequency of Pluto. Okay, so now let's get into what's going on with this great and full with Mercury real fast and see what Mercury is talking about. So you got the Queen of Swords here. So when you're dealing with the Queen of Swords, right, you're dealing with a water, air energy. And so this is Libra, September 23rd all the way to October 22nd, right? Now, if you notice, even though this is a little bit separate on the board, but you see that this Queen of Wands is facing the Queen of Swords. So, ladies and gentlemen, kind of be a little bit mindful of unnecessary conflicts and arguments. You got the Empress here, and you have the Magician here. So, you may be interacting, Capricorns, and I'm going to give you the birth dates. You may be interacting with an air sign or somebody that's moving in their air energy, right? Their Libra energy, their Libra water energy. Not very emotional today, but very defensive maybe. So, or aggressive to a degree. About their belongings, their possessions, their position in reality, and what they went through to get to their position in reality. Also, pay attention to this Magician. Now, the Magician, in this case, is about manifestation and creating, right? This is what may be being defended. Somebody might be trying to defend their job, their art, their craft, the way they think, the way they feel, the way they interact with individuals, the way they choose not to interact with individuals. At the end of the day, the overall energy is great and full. Understanding that this particular energy, this Queen of Swords energy, this Libra energy, regardless of how, there's this concept of always wanting to build and staying stable, regardless of and feeling that the cup is full. Now, most people are going to say, oh, if you're going through this, you're going through that, you're going through that, they going through this, he going through that, she going through that on the planet. Capricorns also have air in their signs, right? How's your cup full? Because it is. Because you woke up today, because you're happy today, because you're breathing today, because you're doing you today. That's why. So that's the mindset that you want to stay in so that you can continue to find your way to your stability, get back to where you're supposed to be at, people, and be willing to use all of the gifts and tools that were provided to you without shame, not boastful, but in fairness and in balance so that you could create whatever you want in your reality. Now, for the Empress falls into Venus. Usually like a 3-month little process if you're looking at timing, right? But the Empress also encompasses all of the queens. And if you notice that you have the Queen of Cups up here, you have the Queen of Wands up here, and you have the Queen of Swords up here. Now this could represent several female energies around a Capricorn, but this also could represent several aspects of one female around a Capricorn, or that Capricorns are interacting with today, or vice versa. Now, when you're dealing with the Magician, you're dealing with Mercury energy, and that matches what today's overall energy is today. Now, usually these things happen quickly. So you got like 3 months. It's something where you have to literally take or participate or take charge in order to kind of quicken up the speed. So it can move like this energy can move over the course of 3 months, or it can move a little bit fast. Regardless of the fact, this is why this energy, this air energy that may be associated or interact with Capricorns, and that's why they will always feel stable. It has nothing to do with anything. These are major arcanas. These are gifts that were provided, and that, talents and things like that. And this could even be a masculine energy that's moving in the feminine air energy. That doesn't have anything to do with sexuality. We all move through our masculine and feminine aspects, just with balance, right? So let's look and see what the month the sun is talking about, which I told y'all was Leo. Let me see what the power of purpose is going on down here. And in this particular deck, it breaks down to 9, and so we staying clear. The star. So when you're dealing with the star, you're dealing with Aquarius, right? You're dealing with January 20th to February 18th. You're dealing with hopes, wishes, wanting to have balance, knowing how to get your wishes to come true. And that means that today is a good time to put in good energy for good wishes and good outcomes. Why not, right? And so we have this 4 of coins. There may be a stubborn energy. This energy needs to learn how to kind of stay out of the stubborn energy. When you're dealing with some like the Queen of Swords, that's a stubborn energy. Emperors is stubborn energy, even though they didn't come down. And sometimes the majors are stubborn energies. But when you're dealing with this, you're talking about kind of isolating yourself, rebuilding. Sometimes it's about being selfish. Sometimes, it's about being stubborn. This is about being a little bit stubborn, not selfish. It also could be about holding possessions, for whatever reason, one. But there's, the hopes and dreams, and so the emotions flow, and the universe hears what you're asking for, period. When you're dealing with the 4 of coins, you are dealing with earth energy, and that's Capricorn, January 10th to the 19th. And then you got this tower issue. So, listen, this is a discussion of, like I said, kind of being stubborn. Stubbornness can be a little bit destructive to a degree, right? And so when we're dealing with this major, we're dealing with the tower, you're dealing with a Mars energy. Things won't happen exactly how you would like it to happen, or as fast as you would like to happen. Even though you put your hopes and wishes and desires and dreams out there, you have to have some type of patience. You have to be a little bit stubborn on what you're standing on. Don't be overly stubborn to the point where it's destructive, but understand that in your stubbornness and in the process of requesting what you want, a lot of things will change and be moved around you that you cannot control. Do not get agitated or frustrated for this month or today or period. Don't get frustrated and agitated with the situation. Kind of go with the flow. Just make sure that it's not something that's detrimental to your reality, right? And make sure that you're not putting out energy that's creating these unnecessary tower effects when they could be avoided. So kind of pay attention to what you're standing on, what you're stubborn about, how you feel, and what you think. Anyway, this is today's reading with Nbtsky. It's a daily read, and I will see y'all on the next one. Deuces.